And we're live.
Hey guys, good evening and welcome to my side of the channel. We're discussing what's really going on to change these things that we know and hold dear to us. And let us help others discover the meaning of the Mandela effect, how it affects them, and the price of health. Thank you. And be sure to hit the like and subscribe down below.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're glad to have everyone. So, Teresa, you have some birthdays for us. So thank you, Esther, for coming back on the show. How long has it been since you've been with us?
Well, other than last week, I think it was about a year and a half, I think.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
All right. All right. Well, we're glad to have you. Go ahead, Teresa.
2 to 2.5
Continue with the
years,
birthdays.
actually.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Well, we're
Too
glad
much
to
has
have you.
happened in the last year, so I don't even remember.
Okay, we have. Go ahead, Teresa.
Okay.
Go ahead,
We
Teresa.
have Tommy Logston, his birthday, July 16th. We also have Jeremy Pumpian. He also shared the same birthday, July 16th. July 19th, we have Lisa Demude Smith, Jamie Brown also. Linda Langley's on July 22nd. July 23rd, let's see here. I'm sorry. Melissa Jones is July 27th. Alex State is July 29th. I hope I didn't miss anybody. And anybody who's a Cancer, the sign of Cancer, because I'm into astrology, Cancer sign is from June 22nd through July 22nd. And then we go into the next sign, which is the Leo, and they're from July 23rd to August 22nd. And I think you fall somewhere in Leo, right, Sandy? Yep.
Yes.
I think Sandy's the Leo. Sandy's birthday is next month, so I don't want to do August yet. So I'm trying to stick with July's birthdays. But yes, Sandy's coming up next month. We'll tell you more about that later on in another show. And I want to do shout outs, and let's see who's here. We got Preliminal. Well, look who's back. Dolly had braces. Welcome back. Long time no see. We have John Nada. How you doing, John? Scott Garrison. Let me see if I missed anybody. Esther, you're in the chat. I see you. North Star, welcome. Crunchy Bee, welcome, Crunchy Bee. Sarah Thorne, welcome. And Sarah Thorne has a question. Anybody want me to? Scott Garrison, hello. Would you like me to read it to you guys? Yeah, we have a question in the chat. Oh, hi, Look Learner. Sarah Thorne has a question. She wants to know, when did Marshall's for you change from a department store to a discount store? I know they are owned by the same company. Can anybody answer this? I don't know the answer. Anybody can answer her question?
No,
except for Sarah?
me, it's always been a discount store.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's not in my area.
Anybody in the chat want to try to answer? Hi, Casey. Welcome, Casey.
Crunchy B says, Sarah Thorne, I don't know, but I did think it had an apostrophe. There's no apostrophe.
Oh, really? John Natta says, like TJ Maxx. Hi, Jeff Zanzibar. Welcome.
Welcome.
So,
Yeah, I
or
thought it was Marshall's was just like a name brand company. I didn't know it was a discount store.
Wow.
And John, is it Nada or Nada?
Nada, I think it's Nada, right, Sandy? Nada?
Yeah, it says or Ross. So Ross, as you know, is no longer Ross. It's Ross Dress for Less.
Yeah, that's Dress for Less. Yeah, I don't remember that. All I remember is just Ross.
Me too.
I've been going going there a long time. So, but yeah, I don't remember the last. Unless they just happened to throw it in as some kind of, what is that called? Sandy says when they put them on movie posters. Oh, what do they call them? They throw them on there. I forgot what she called them.
Oh, billboard.
A tagline?
Tagline, yeah. It seems like they're putting taglines on everything now.
Yeah, they do.
Yep, tagline. Yep. Okay,
Well,
and that's
speaking of
it
taglines,
for my birthdays and call outs,
Well-
unless some new people pop in.
before we get into the Mandela effects, before we take a deep dive, I wanted to ask Esther some questions on the air. Is that okay with you, Esther?
Yep. Sorry. Yes.
Okay, I don't want to feel like I'm putting you on the spot or anything, but for all those who want to know more of Esther's background and where she comes into this into the Mandela effect. So, just some quick questions here. When did you first become aware of the Mandela effect?
I would think it was like right around May of 2018. So I actually the very first time it was around 2016, but it was on Good Mythical Morning, and the way they were talking about it just made it sound like misremembering. So at the time, the way they presented it, I was like, whatever, I'm just misremembering. That was the very first time I'd ever heard of the word, but I didn't really I didn't really understand it. So, and I just kind of pushed off the side, and then I was watching some YouTube and somehow it came across my suggested feed. And that's when it kind of like grabbed my attention. And I was like, what is this now? I consider 2018 as my wake up year. Because before that, I wasn't really like what they call woke, I guess.
All right. So next thing I want to ask you. So, what was the first Emmy that really kind of made you realize that this was more than just a trending thing on YouTube?
I know the very, very first one that, like I said, kind of came across me was Tinkerbell, but the one that made me go, holy cow, this is real, was Kit Kat. When I saw the dash was missing, I was actually watching your show, Brian, when getting my kids ready for school, and I was kind of like hearing you guys in the background saying that it's always had a dash, or it's never had a dash, and this is the way it is. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's always had a dash. And so I went into, at the time where I worked, it was a convenience store. I went and saw the Kit Kats, and I picked them up, and I looked at it, and I was like, where's the dash? And I literally had to stop myself from like freaking out in the store. So that was my definite aha, like totally, this is not bogus or people saying whatever, this is real, because I always remembered a dash. So that was my, that's what I
would you consider that's like an anchor Emmy for you then?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it was funny because shortly afterwards I was working with my coworker, and I'm like, hey, Kit Kat never had a dash. And she's like, what are you talking about? It's always had a dash. I'm like, no. She's like, that's my favorite candy bar. You can't tell me that. And literally I had to show it to her. I had to go grab it and bring it to her and show her. And she's like, okay. So, and she didn't know what to do with the information. But like for me, I was like, this is real. And that's what really got me started, which is kind of why I really enjoyed your show so much, was because they said you and Teresa were talking about the Kit Kat bars, and it kind of really stuck out. I was like, you guys showed me my first Mandela. so.
All right. So the next question I was going to ask you, so what are since you say that's an anchor Emmy, what are two other, do you have what are your top three,
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, the Tinkerbell, because that one is the one that did lead me down the path of finding out about Kit Kat. And I would probably just have to go with there's so many of them, but I think I'd have to go with the Life is Like a Box of Chocolates from Forrest Gump. I would have to say it was probably right up there, plus Star Wars with Luke, I am your father. That's something I said all the time. I always said it as a kid. So I may not have watched Star Wars a lot, but that was a saying we said all the time. I never ever once said, no, I am your father. So that was a big one for me.
Yeah, the Luke, I'm your father. So you're definitely a Star Wars fan, right? And you've heard it over and over again. The line, Luke, I'm your father.
Yeah, I would say I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan. I kind of got into it more later in life. I have some friends that love Star Wars, and I've even asked her questions. Like, she's a huge Star Wars fan, and I asked her like even about the what's his name, Chewbacca at the end getting the medal, and she's like, yeah, of course he always got the medal. I'm like, go watch it now, and she's like, I don't know, maybe it was just a different cut. I'm like, it's the same DVD you've owned for years now. She won't believe in the Mandela effect. So
I could have sworn he got a medal.
yeah, he doesn't get a medal anymore. He just Luke and the other guy, I can't remember their names, but yeah, they're the only ones that got the medal. Hans.
I was just gonna say I could ask my sister, but then again, she's not affected.
Yeah, I asked my friend because I was trying to figure out like who is affected and who was willing to listen to it, and she doesn't want anything to do with it. But I was like, I do ask her questions occasionally when, especially Star Wars comes up, because I'm like, I know you're a huge Star Wars fan. So she's like, yeah, of course he got a medal, and like, no, he didn't. And she never questions that it's her own DVD that's been in her collection for like I don't even know how many years, and she's just like, oh well, maybe I just got a different cut. It's like, okay, like somebody switched your DVDs out in the middle of the night or something on you. she won't stop and question it. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just drop it. So I try not to push on people. If they don't want to hear it, then I'll just drop it.
I'm noticing here, you have a channel. How many videos do you have on your channel, and when did you create it?
I have no idea how it got created. I have nothing on it. So I don't know if it's because when we because when I used to come on your show, maybe it got created then. Because I'm not sure, because I used to come on like every week. I think it was like every Thursday, and it used to be like my highlight of the week, and then things happened, and I think like you had some life changes, and it just kind of got put. Yeah, it was about 2 years ago, I think. Now, like Sandy was saying, I didn't realize it was so long because we stuck in contact.
Well, it was. I remember that it was back sometime in August, maybe 2 years ago. They had stopped doing the Hangouts. Like Hangouts wasn't a thing anymore, and so we've had to switch platforms to StreamYard, and we've been doing this for kind of a while. Yeah, but I think it was around then.
Yeah, I think we did a call-in or something because of the fact that you had the different. So for a little while, I remember when I did come back on, I think it was just like once or twice. I think I did a call on because of the fact that you had the new program and it just wasn't working. So I think that's how we had to do it last time. But like I said, it's been a long time. So I think, yeah, Evie was not born yet, I believe. It was around the time she was.
Oh, it's before. Okay.
Yeah, it was like
she's
right
about
around.
She's about 28 months now.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Wow.
She kind of either had just been born or like it was right around that time. So I know you had some life changes and things that were going on. So it just kind of made it a little harder for you to stream as well. So.
Yeah. I mean, we all have those times in our life, Now, what in your opinion, do you believe, is causing the changes to happen, the Mandela effect, what's causing it, what's behind it?
I am still just as lost, I think, about as anybody. I mean, I am still open to the possibility of parallel universes. It's hard because I believe in the Bible and I read a lot with the Bible, but at the same time, for all we know, God didn't tell us about the other planets he made, and it does say heavens and earth. So it's like, I think even at one point, I think it was Earths or something, somebody had said that it was plural. And the fact that they've translated it from, we don't get to read the original Greek and Aramaic and everything. So it's like, how do we know they translated it correctly so into English? I mean, for all we know, King James could have pulled the wool over everybody's eyes, and there's like all these parallel universes out there. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. I think that was about, other than, I don't know about time travel. I mean, time travel, I know people say, well, if it's time travel, then how do you explain continents moving? But if it's time travel, then they could go back and change the way maps look and the way that they're interpreted and things like that. So it's more of, maybe the landmass didn't change, it's more of the viewpoint of the person doing the maps, of a stenographer or whatever it's called. So I mean,
Cartographer.
Yeah, that's what it's called. So I mean, that's a possibility, but I don't know. The parallel universe almost feels like it could be more of an answer than the other. So it's just, like I said, it's hard to know. I know this one coworker, it's a little, I guess it's kind of off a little subject, but he said that there's this, I don't remember what he called it, but it was sort of like they go into this place, people, like high-ranking people, they would be brought into this place and they could be told a possible future. And so we kind of like lead them wherever they wanted them to go. They could tell them something positive or something negative. And I guess that's their way of controlling things. So, I mean, I think the only way that would work is if they had some sort of ability to time travel. But I mean, I can't put it past time travel. So, I mean, just knowing that, God knows everything before, after, how does he know all of that? So,
Well, the other thing is like do you believe there's like a common thread or attribute among those who are affected?
A common thread.
Like, what's the common denominator here between like all of us that are affected? We all want to know what's going on here, what's going on. So the things are happening, the things are changing, but we don't know whether it's benevolent or if it's evil. We don't know. We really don't.
That we've discussed before, maybe it's possible that, we could have died and then moved on. And therefore, that's why we see Emmys and we're more open to it, possibly because of the fact that we've maybe have died maybe several times or something. And I mean, I know there's a few points in my life where I could have died. Like, it could have very easily had went that way. Actually, I was just telling Sandy a story the other day, how I got propane exposure. And at the time we were talking, and it was like, you know what, for all I know, I might have died. All of the whole staff that was working, we might have died. Who knows? And maybe that's where some of the new Emmys had come out for me. So I'm not sure. So, because I don't know what Emmys I'd seen at the time, because that was about a year ago now. But can't put it past that, I guess, at this point.
Well, the thing is, you said some people believe maybe we died. Preliminary in our audience says, I think maybe I died February 22nd, 2016. Is that your wake-up date, Preliminary? Is that what you mean? Let's see. So North Star says, in the films, the bad news bears, the winning teams now cheer for the losing team after they beat them. That's weird.
I've never seen that movie, so I can't honestly answer on that.
Bad news. I haven't seen that either. Is that about the Chicago Bears? I don't know. That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
I believe that's the one with, what's his name? Oh, it's a movie. I know it's about baseball. what's his name? The guy who is married to Angelina Jolie.
Oh, Brad Pitt.
No, the other guy, the guy before him.
Oh, I don't know the guy
I don't
before
remember
him.
his name,
I'm
but I
sorry.
believe
Bob
that's
Thornton?
the movie. Yes. Yeah, I believe that's
Oh.
the film that they're talking about.
Bad News
So-
Bears? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you heard of it, Teresa?
Yes, I have. I think I did a Mandela effect on it. Sandy, you remember you did the graphics for it a while back? There was some Mandela effect on it. Sandy remembers.
I mean, I will say that I think my first Mandela effect that I didn't know was a Mandela effect was before, Sandy just left, was I got into an accident when I was 15. And I just remember waking up. Look, I remember I told you the story, Ryan, before, I think when I first had come on the show. But I'll reiterate real quick for everybody was I was in a, what do they call a quadricycle? It's a 4-wheel bicycle with a steering wheel. And I was driving it. My brother wasn't supposed to let me drive it, but apparently, I do not have any memory of the day. This is what I've been told. Apparently, I begged him enough, and he finally let me drive. And I flipped it, and I went with the bike, and I hit my head on the ground, scraped my back all up. And I woke up at 9 o'clock that night, just looking around the room, everybody crying. And I'm like, who died? That was my first thought. I'm like, who died? Because everybody's like really, really, like, they all look really solemn and just like really, really, it's like everybody's crying. And I'm like, what is going on here? And they're like, do you not remember anything? And I said, no, I don't know what you guys, why is my brother sitting here crying? Why is everybody crying? And they're like, you were in an accident. And I'm like, I was a what? And they had to tell me everything that went on. So I only know the details from what they've told me. And I noticed, I believe it was that next year, next Christmas, it changed for me. It was always December 26th. And even my brother, who was in the accident with me, him and I were the only ones in the accident. We're the only ones that we were literally fighting, like yelling and screaming fights. Like I was like, my brother and I were like, it was always December 26th. And they're like, no, it's December 25th. And we're like, no, Christmas was always on the 26th. And it was an all-out battle between my brother and I. We were adamant. It was always the 26th for us. And all my other family is like, no, it's always the 25th. So that for me kind of makes me feel like it's possible that maybe we both died and we both came back and, or came to a different reality or something and changed for us, because we're the only two people in my household. And my parents I have 5 siblings, and they all were adamant that it was the 25th, except for me and my brother. So that's where it kind of like, maybe that's what happened. So that's why I'm not throwing that completely out the window.
I was just looking through some of the comments looking through some of these comments here from everyone, and whack-a-mole, I thought was always spelled with a K. Apparently, there's no K anymore in whack-a-mole.
Oh, yeah, I thought I had a K too.
So did we just find a Mandela effect here?
How do you
Hasn't
spell
been
it?
Thanksgiving on the
Let me
first.
share my screen because this is weird.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you spell it now?
It's spelled WHAC.
No.
Yeah.
No, guys, it had a K. I agree with you guys.
We just found a Mandela effect in our
We
chat.
just found a Mandela effect.
Who found it?
Who gets credit for it? Who gets credit?
Someone in our chat. Who was it?
Who was it? Go scroll.
Ryan's saying so. That's
Who?
Eddie Von Kuhn, maybe? I'm
Was
not
it?
sure.
Anyone?
yeah, Eddie Van Vaughn.
Keen, is it Keen? I'm sorry. I forgot. Keen. No, Eddie, he found it. Eddie found it. Yep.
Eddie, if you don't mind, can you please post that in my group? I would really appreciate it. If you don't mind, post it in my group. Eddie, please.
We have 33 people watching right now. This is awesome. You guys are all great. We love you.
Hi,
Oh, man.
Desire.
Hey, Ann Gaynor.
I can't pronounce it. Hi, Lemon. I forgot to say hi earlier.
I have a couple more questions I wanted to ask, Esther. Is that cool?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, like, how has it affected your relationships? Has it made some stronger, some weaker, or mixture of both?
I'd say that I have lost like I don't know if you want to say connection, but just like there are people I just can't talk about it with. Like my ex-husband, he just like no. His new wife she's open to it. Like she doesn't want to research or any of that, but at least she'll so I'll answer your question in a minute, Lemon. Like you said, she'll listen and she'll actually agree with me. Like I told you, Brian, last week about like the Statue of Liberty. She remembers her foot being flat. She's actually been to the Statue of Liberty.
Wait, her foot's not flat?
Yeah, her foot's up in the air now. And
what is she playing, footsies?
Yeah. her right foot is like really high up in the air, and she's like, no, it was always flat. She remembers Johnny Five is alive, and you know, all of that.
Yeah,
so,
apparently they don't say that in the first movie anymore, but they say it in the second movie, I think.
Yeah, she's like, no, I remember that. And so,
I remember that in the first movie.
Yeah, I do remember that too, in the back of the car thing. Like that was the one that we watched many, many times. I didn't really watch this.
Which one?
The very first one. I do remember him saying Johnny Five is alive, because that was such a cool catchphrase.
Yeah, I know.
So I mean, that is, she's been, like I said, she's been kind of like listening, and she'll give me feedback on Mandela effects that I've asked her about, and she usually agrees with what I have to say. Like I said, I can't really talk about it with friends and my family. All literally, my sister's like, do we need to do an intervention? Are you high? She literally my family was adamant about thinking that there was something wrong with me. So with my family, I definitely can't talk about it. My sister, my youngest sister, just married a man who used to believe in the Mandela effect. Now he doesn't. He says it's just misremembering. So she's totally against it, and basically turned my whole family to, if I say anything, I sound like the crazy person. So, I mean, with that, everything's kind of gotten, they said, I just can't really talk about it with anybody, but it has opened the window to be able to have a friendship with you guys, and having Sandy and Teresa and you, Brian, and just the whole Mandela effect community. I feel like I'm almost closer with you guys than I am with almost anybody else now. So it's at least it's brought new friendships in my life that I never thought I'd have. So it's at least been a positive thing in the end. So it may be frustrating to hear one of my favorite songs change, or maybe a movie I'm watching and I'm like, no, but it's like, at least I have someone that I can go to and talk to about it. So at least there's a support system. So at least I do have that. So
I agree with that so much.
Yeah.
It makes all the difference in the world, honestly.
The next question. Let's see. Have you ever noticed something change, like in real time in front of your eyes? Like maybe geographic changes, or, you know, maybe you're shopping at the grocery store and you're like, wait a minute, I thought that had an extra T or something, and then it's slashed one of the T's off there or something like that. Do you ever notice something change in real time?
There's only two things that I can actually say that one I got to see, and one was I was listening to. And one was I was watching The Wizard of Oz, and the Scarecrow's pants changed. Like, I was watching the movie and I was watching it very intently. And because we were talking about the patches, I think, at the time or something, and there are different colors about his outfit. So I was really paying attention to his pants. And then it went into another, like, they showed him again, like a couple seconds later. I looked away and I looked back and I'm like, where'd those extra patches come from? And I remember like the more I watched the movie, the more patches appeared. And then I had to rewind it because I'm like, well, maybe it's just like a different pair of pants. Maybe because that does happen in costumes. They've made a mistake. They put the wrong pair of pants on. I've actually heard of episodes where they call them the magic pants or something because they oopsied and on the costume department. So I rewound it and nope, it had always been there. And I'm like, I've been watching this movie and I'm paying attention to every single little detail. And his pants suddenly changed. And like I said, it was like the more he was on screen, the more patches showed up. And I was like, this is weird. Like, that's the first time I've seen it.
Wow.
Literally like pop. You know, I looked away and I looked back and I'm like, now he's got a different pair of pants on.
Well, you mentioned the scarecrow, and I know there's this part. I think Teresa found this one, or maybe it was Sandy. I can't remember which one of you guys found it, but there's like these gigantic lily pads in the middle of that one pond where where the house dropped down on the Wicked Witch of the East or whatever. The sister of the Green Witch. Anyway, so there's like a big pond with like gigantic lily pads. And so did you notice that change? Or
Why don't you show her?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember now because at the time when I was watching it, which was about 2 years ago, I was because there was a lot of changes at the time with the Wizard of Oz. Like the song and everything was constantly changing, and or not the song, sorry, actually the song did change too. The Somewhere Over the Rainbow, I think a line had changed, as well as Toto, or We're Not in Kansas Anymore, and now I don't even know what it is at this point. It's literally changed so many times. I have lost track of what she says. It's changed like 3 or 4 times. And then her hat's changed, the crown on the queen. And there's just so many with that movie that's why I was really paying attention because especially, like I said, to Scarecrow staring at his pants. And then I'm like, oh, look, there's a new patch. Oh, look, I think there was like 3 or 4 patches by the end of the movie that weren't there at the beginning of the movie. And like, so I rewound it and rewatched it just to make sure. And sure enough, there always have been there. So, and I know.
Colonial says was Toto black or brown?
Oh, wow. It was a black and white movie.
That.
So
Sandy found that one.
Oh my God.
Hey, would you guys look at these gigantic lily pads? And supposedly they're big enough for you to stand on.
Sandy, where's the presentation for that one?
I'm the one who found them in the Wizard of Oz. Teresa found the lily pads. Have been around.
The lily pads. Do you see that, Esther? Can you see the screen?
Oh yeah.
Were they that big to you?
That looks weird. Why would they be that big?
I don't remember water being there, period.
You're the one that mentioned the water. I'm the one that said, why are there lily pads here? Remember?
I have to rewatch it to really get like the full context because that's what sometimes seeing a picture and stuff isn't always kind of like that triggering moment. Sometimes if you like watch it and you're like, oh, hey, like you get because all of your senses and stuff get involved. And that's what I kind of find that for me, that's where people are like, oh, do you remember this? It's like, well, sometimes I have to really get into it. Like they'll show a change in a movie and I'm like, I got to rewatch the movie now just so I can see it in action and seeing them move around and seeing what they look like and what they sound like while I'm looking at their face or whatever. And it's like, something's off, which, it reminds me of a different change. Sorry. It just popped in my head. I think I had asked a question on Frozen was, what's his name? The oh my word. Why can't I remember his name? Not
Olaf?
No, not Kristoff, but the other one, the bad dude. The one that she's supposed to kiss, Hans. Hans's hair color had changed for me because I remember it being brown with a slight tint of red, but now it's like copper. And I'm like, it just looks weird now. I rewatched the movie and I'm like, I don't know, maybe they just uploaded it weird, but all the pictures I've seen, his hair is definitely more red than I ever remembered that, because I remember them with Anna, because Anna has red hair, and I remember Hans having a slight red hair to kind of look close, but now
Yeah.
it's like,
So what is it? Orange?
well, it's like a coppery brown now, and it's like it just is way too red now, and it just doesn't look right. It's hard to explain. I don't know the exact color, but I said it's more coppery than it used to be, and it just looks weird. So I don't know how many more questions you have to ask, because I do have another Frozen, because I'm weird. I watch Frozen even without my kids here. I watched Frozen 1 and 2 many, many times, and I listen to the songs all the time. I'm always singing the songs, and like on the second Frozen 2, Show Yourself. I don't know if I should ask it, because I don't think anybody. Does anybody in the chat know the song "Show Yourself" from Frozen 2?
I've never even seen Frozen 1.
Oh, I've seen Frozen 2, and that was a song I learned by the lyrics. I looked up the lyrics because some of the lyrics I couldn't understand her. Like during this time where the lyrics part changed, I actually did look up the lyrics, because I'm like, what is she saying? Because there's her singing it, and then the other voice singing it. I don't want to give away any endings just in case somebody wants to watch Frozen 2 and they haven't seen it yet. But it's like, you got the two voices singing, and they were kind of talking over each other. So it's like, what is she saying? And
Yeah, what is she saying?
well, she's supposed to be. What is Frozen? Frozen's a movie. Well, she says, "Step into your power," is part of the verse, and I always remember it. Throw yourself into something new, like throwing yourself into something new. Don't just walk into it. Literally, throw your all into something else. Now it's step into your power, grow yourself into something new. And I remember I was listening to it, and I clearly heard her say grow. So it's not like I was passively listening to it. I was listening to it, and I actually heard her say grow yourself. I literally stopped it, rewound it, and listened to it again. And then I pulled up the lyrics, the same lyrics page I've always read from. And I was like, why does it say grow yourself? Because I've never sang it, grow yourself into something new. And I'm like, that's not what I remember. It was always throw yourself. And that's where she like makes her really pretty white gown that you see at the end of the second movie.
Oh, wow.
So
I don't know. That's just weird.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. I know I touched on "Let It Go." I think everybody has heard "Let It Go." I think you have probably heard it in the grocery store.
Yeah, there's even memes. There's memes all about "Let It Go."
Yeah, I mean, there is one change that I'm keeping an eye on, because different people sing it differently. So that one hasn't changed from the original one yet. But when you listen to it, I know the song like super well. So I learned it by reading it, because my daughter wanted me to sing it for her. So I had to learn what the words were, because I'm like, well, you love this song and you're always wanting me to sing it. They sang it for school. So she's like, learn this song, Mommy. So I did. And it was let it go. It says, let it go. Can't hold me back anymore, is the way I memorized it. And it's now hold it back anymore. So instead of hold me back, it's now it back. So
I remember that. I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah, it's like like I said, I learned it through actually reading it, because like I said, I was trying to learn it from my daughter. So I like it. Indina Menzel, I think is how you pronounce her name. But sometimes her words are hard to understand, so I do look up lyrics. There are many, many songs where I've looked up lyrics, especially now that I know about the Mandela effect. I constantly looking up lyrics, even on songs that I've always known, just so if they do change, I can say, hey, that was a change. I mean, there's if I sat here, I could probably spend at least an hour writing down all of the song changes that I've personally have found in songs. So, I mean, you guys know, well, the chat might not know, but I know Brian and you guys know I'm a huge Beatles fan. Many songs have changed. It's frustrating. So, which that was the one that I had heard the change, not immediately, but I did hear Penny Lane. That one changed overnight for me. I was listening to it one day, and the next day it changed. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, same thing. The one I heard, Hallelujah by Pentatonics, a word changed. Literally, I heard it, I rewound it, listened to it again, and the word was missing. So that kind of freaked me out.
Wow.
So I was like, that was real time change, because I heard it and I was like, wait, what did you just say? Then I rewound it and I'm like, wait, where'd the word go?
Oh my goodness.
I was like, the word is missing. So,
Well, have you? Next question. Have you ever experienced changes in yourself, such as a change to your appearance, your health or your personality, since becoming affected?
I know, like, I think I've shared it before. Like, my hands have these weird little lines on them. My feet have I have a couple of new veins on them. I've actually mentioned it to Once Upon a Timeline, and I think she covered it on her show with the feet change. Because I'm like, what is this weird looking bone thing? And I didn't know what it was. It was a new tendon on my foot. Because I have really bony feet, so it's like any change that happens on our feet, I can see.
Well, what I'm curious investigating is birthmarks, because they say a birthmark. Some people could argue that is how you possibly may have died in a past life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in past lives, nor do I endorse it. However, it is curious to know, like, some people's birthmarks have shifted, maybe from one leg to the other, or maybe one that was there is now gone. Have you ever noticed stuff like that, like weird stuff with your body? Or maybe you look different. Do you look different in the mirror every day now?
No, I will say my what do you call those things? Irises, I believe they're called, the little black. Yeah, I have one of them that is kind of hexagonal now, and it wasn't hexagonal before in my past, because I've had pictures of my eyes, close-up pictures done, and it was always circular, and I think it's my left one actually is hexagonal now, and not both of them, just the one. It's kind of weird looking. Other than that, I mean, like I said, just a few tendons, a couple of other little minor changes that kind of freaked me out. One change I don't think is appropriate to talk about on the show. It's one of those. It's like, how do I talk about it, because it's a part of the anatomy that is kind of a private area. So I'm like, how do I talk about this? That I've noticed across the board, all women seem to have this issue now, where I remember it being different. So it's it's not like what Need Input was oh, well, we got this change with the body, the fallopian tube stuff like that. It's more of the outside stuff that I'm it's huh. I I've seen a lot of movies and stuff, they like to show naked women on it, and I'm like, things have changed. It's not just me, it's all these other women and all of these movies that I'm seeing, and stuff it's kind of one of those hard to talk about on it, because I don't want you to get kicked off.
So. Well, it's understandable. It's understandable.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
thank you for keeping it PG-13 too.
Yeah, I will say real quick, the Penny Lane's change, that was a question in the chat I didn't see until just a couple seconds ago. Penny Lane is in my ear and in my eyes. Or do you remember Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes? Penny Lane in my ear and eye, or anything like that? What do you guys?
Yeah,
I'm not rock solid on that one.
we did cover this one, but I don't know if it's I
Yeah.
credited you or I found it before you mentioned it. But we did cover this,
Yeah.
but I remember it just like you, in my
Yeah.
ears and eyes.
Yeah, now it's just ear and eye. And it's really annoying because I remember it changed to ear and eyes, and it was plural. And I remember I was like freaking out because I have it in like 4 different places. I have it on DVD, the music video, and I have it on like my CD as well as my music online. So it's like I have it in like all over the place, and every single version is changed. And now it's ear and eye, not plural in any sense. So just like Lucy in the Sky with diamond instead of diamonds. And it's so frustrating.
Wait, Lucy in the Sky with Diamond?
Mm-hmm.
No, it was Diamonds.
Yeah, they only say diamonds like 2 or 3 times in the entire song. And other than that, it's Lucy in the Sky with Diamond, as well as Plasticine Porter, tree, I believe it is, and a couple of other words that have no longer been pluralized. So it's weird. Oh, at Porter's, I can depending on the version I listen to, I can hear the S, but sometimes it's hard to hear, like depending on the version. So that one might just be covered up by distortion, but there are other words in that song that is just, it's singular now. It sounds weird. And I'm like, no, that's not the way it was, because I listened to it very intently the night before, and then I get up and I think I was Recall did a video, and I'm like, no, it changed overnight. I was so ticked off. It's the very next day he posted a video about the song, and I'm like, no, I literally was just listening to this last night very clearly, very intently, like right up to my ear listening to it. So, Hey Jude's. It was Hey Jude. Yeah. Yeah, what would you think if I sang out of tune instead of what would you do if I sang out of tune? So, but I know you had more questions. I just wanted to answer that question since it was on the chat. She's singing about her third eye. Possibly.
Let me see. The next question. This one might be a tough one. Do you think the Emmys are slowing down or speeding up, or do they vary throughout the year?
I think for me, like lately, it's been more personal Emmys than it has been like mainstream. It's more of stuff that I really enjoy listening to, like like I said, songs that are just more kind of not so mainstream, like, streets even around me like seem to appear out of nowhere. Like weird stuff going on in my personal life, like at work. I told Sandy this story the other day, and she's like, what? I was at work, and I got hired a little over a year ago, and I work at a grocery store, and we have an office, and you have to use the key if the manager's not in the office. And most of my shifts, I work when my manager's not there, or she'll be on break or whatever. Like, she's not always in the office. And so you have to use the key. So when I first started, you had to turn the key to the right. And I was like, okay. And then one day I went in a couple months later, and I put the key in and it wasn't turning. And I'm like, what's going on here? Why is the key not working? I'm like freaking out. I'm like, I can't get in the office. I need to get into the office. I go and grab my coworker and I bring her back, and I'm like, can you help me get into the office? She's like, you just have to turn it to the left. I'm like, okay. I was turning it to the right. She's like, no, you have to turn it to the left. I'm like, okay. So I just kind of brushed it off, and like, she's going to think I'm crazy if I tell her about the Mandela effect right now. Like, I always remember it turning to the right, but okay. You want to tell me to turn it to the left now? About a couple more months go by, and now it's back to turning to the right. So you actually have to you turn to the right again. And it hasn't changed since then. And there's no way they changed out the doorknob. It's the same key, same door, everything. But for some reason, for a couple of times, it decided to flip-flop back and forth. So like that weird stuff. Like one night that somehow the door wasn't locked, the front door, and we have no explanation about how it didn't get locked. Because in order to set the alarm, you have to lock the doors. And so we're confused. So other than that, like I said, it's just more and more of songs that I know more personal, like Good Mythical Morning songs, things like that, like Rent Link and things. So, I mean, I think for some people, it seems to be kind of steady. I know with you guys still being able to do shows so often, and, you know, I think it's hard because everybody has Mandela effects that show up at different times. Like I know there's some that people will make YouTube videos about it, and I honestly can't even hear the change. And I'm like, no, I hear this word. I don't even hear the word you're talking about. And then the next day it'll change for me. So I feel like we're all on different spectrums somehow. Like somehow somebody can have something change for them and it won't change for me. And then all of a sudden, like I said, either day, maybe sometimes longer, it'll change for me. So that's why I'm totally confused on how this works. Like, how does it work? Like, what is the cause? I don't know. So, I mean, you bring up CERN, and I mean, it's possible that they're doing something. And
probably the most interesting phenomenon related to the Mandela effect is the fact of retrocausality. You know, we've talked about this before on my show. It's when a change happens, you know, whether it's real time or it's a previous change, whatever affects the future or actually the present, it seems to go in both directions, and it affects the past and the future. It's really strange because you can go back and watch all the old, you know, some people think you go watch the 1977 Star Wars movie because all these new ones are remastered. I'm sure if you go watch the old one, you can hear Darth Vader echoing, "Luke, I'm your father." But no, you're not going to find that anymore, no matter if you go watch the old movie or not. And the same thing with Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. You're not going to hear that anymore. It's never been Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Yeah. But where it clicks, you know, that's what I'm curious about. Like, why is it when you ask someone, well, what did the evil queen say to the mirror? They never say magic mirror. They always say mirror, mirror. That is so weird to me.
Yeah, it's weird how we all kind of get stuck on the same glitch, I guess you can use that for a word, where it's like, why do we, I was thinking about this the other day, I'm like, but why do we all seem to have the same memory on remembering it supposedly wrong? It's like, I don't understand, like, because people are just really bad at writing and our brains find a better way to write a script, so therefore... like we have a better reasoning for like, Luke, I am your father, you know, compared to the other. It's like, so you're saying that like we all together communitatively just like that sentence better. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than something's changed, because why does everybody remember it the same way? Like, yeah, I know with, like I said, I bring up Good Mythical Morning. They have Residue on their show. When they talked about the Mandela effect, Link had, I think he only got one correct in parentheses, and all of the other ones he remembered it the same way we do. The Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, he remembered it the same way we do. I can't remember what it is at the moment. But yeah, like the Life is Like a Box of Chocolates, he remembered it. Even the Star Wars one, Luke, I Am Your Father, and a couple of others, he was right there with us saying, yeah, I remember. The only one he did get supposedly right was Interview with the Vampire, and that was the only one that he got right, because
and there's all kinds of tests. I've seen BuzzFeed was probably one of the first ones that came out with it. Some kind of test that you could give someone to see if they're affected by the Mandela effect or not. But it does kind of make you wonder a little bit, like the people that aren't affected when you know, especially family members, you're like, or is this like a totally different person? Like it's interesting when you find like maybe that you have like a shared memory with them and now it's gone. Like, are they a different person? You know, you have to wonder that sometimes. What do you call them? I know NPCs is a tough subject to talk about. You know, I definitely don't. I try not to bring that up to people because then they get mad, and then you lose your friend maybe. Real quick, I just wanted to ask you. Last question I had for you, Esther, before we go on with the big Mandela effects.
No, we need more time than this.
More time? Okay.
I guess I can talk about my other ones that after you're done.
Is there anything you'd like to add or tell us that we didn't ask you? Like, because I asked you a ton of questions. I know you know, all of them are really great answers. Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you'd like us or that to know or?
Yeah, I know we talked about like because I used to come on the show and because I know we wanted to kind of clue some people in about who I was, so I'm not just like some random person off the street. So I can't really think of much else. I mean, other than just talk about the Mandela effects and things, and just it's pretty interesting. Like, so it would be nice if somebody could come out and say this is a definite reason for why the Mandela effect is happening and how it's happening. Because, I mean, I even had a theory of our bodies are made up of, I don't even know how much at this point. It used to be 80% water. Now it's 70%. I don't even know what it is at this point for the amount of water that we have in our bodies. And I've just sometimes wondered, like, maybe the effects could be like a vibrational thing through the water in our bodies. Like if you take a glass of water, you can actually look at something and make it look flipped. So it's possible that something is going on with our, like, maybe why we get lightheaded, ringing of the ears, things like that, because something is actually physically changing in our bodies. It's a possibility. So I sometimes wonder if that's because I know, like, it was last night. I came home, and as soon as I walked in the door, my right ear was ringing like crazy. And I felt a little off-centered. And I mean, I don't know if I found any Mandela effects today because I've been kind of low key today. So, I mean, you guys know about my issues with my teeth. So, I just, it would be really, really nice to find out a definite, like somebody could actually come right out and say, this is what's happening. I mean, one day I'm sure we'll know.
Yeah. Like if you knew, let's say if you found out, I guess, or you knew what was going on and like, would like it, to me, it's like, I feel weird about bringing it up to people sometimes, you know, because I don't have a solution because like there's I wish there was an answer to all of this that we have questions about, you know, and every question you have, I feel like you get an answer that brings up more questions. I'm just noticing here from Scott Garrison in the chat. He says, I saw that Charles Lindbergh is the 82nd transatlantic flight instead of the first. So you're telling me we had all these transatlantic flights before Charles Lindbergh? Wow. Wasn't he affiliated with Amelia Earhart? Like they kind of knew each other?
I'm not sure about that. I mean, I wish I could say I know more about history and stuff, but that's, I mean, I know of.
Garrison says yes.
NPCs can't see the changes for them because it hasn't changed. Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, sometimes when people bring up something that it's so hard when somebody says, "Oh, this changed," and it's like, but for me, it's always been this way. Like, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, and I know it was posted in the group, which I don't know if you guys, some of you guys probably know about Teresa's Facebook group, Mandela Effect, Reality Residue Hunters, or Mandela Residue Hunters. Sorry, I'm like.
You were right the first time.
Yeah, sorry, I have like 3 different Mandela pages in my brain right now. But yeah, I mean, the guy was posting about a tie from Doctor Who, and I don't know if that's part of your presentation, Sandy, or not. But since I'm a huge fan, I was like, well, for me, the tie hasn't changed; it's always the same. But for him, the tie had changed, so it's like I get that we have different changes. We all see different things at different times, and so I'm like, for me, because my son went as the 10th Doctor for Comic-Con a couple years ago, I had to do a lot of research, and I never really looked at his tie before. I mean, it's David Tennant. I didn't look at his tie. I was looking at his face, to be honest. I mean, it's David Tennant. So when I had to do the research, I looked at his tie. I'm like, oh, wow, his tie's got all kinds of weird colors and stuff on it. And that's when it was brought up in the group, I'm like, well, for me, it's always had those colors, at least up until that point, because that's when I did research. But for him, I think it was a him. Sorry if it was a girl or a woman. I think it was a man.
Yeah, it was a man and it's a woman.
Yeah, I wish I could remember the name. So I was like, well, I get that we all had, and it's hard when it doesn't affect us. And it's like, well, I know it's been this, but it's like, it doesn't affect us. And it's just kind of one of those, it's like, it's like, when we see an effect, we want other people to understand, have the same effect because it affects us so deeply that we want other people to share in it, kind of. I mean, not like I want them to share my misery. It's just more of, this happened and you have other people that can support you through it. But when it doesn't change for you, but it changes for somebody else, it's like you still have to remember to be able to go, oh, okay, well, it changed. So it's like, not for me, but I understand. So it's, sorry if that sounds weird. I just try to put it in a way where it's like, I get that we all had, I mean, sorry, Brian.
No, I'm saying that, trust me, there's nothing more. I mean, I like hearing about all these interesting things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of, in a small way, sometimes if it's not an irritating fact, it's kind of cool when you learn about new effects. If it's not one of those irritating things, like I said, when you're not listening to a song that's like your favorite song and a cool word changed, and you're like, oh man, that's so annoying. Like a word changed. But when it's just like, oh, cool, that color of somebody's jacket changed. Oh, that's cool. Like it's kind of fun at that point. It's kind of like almost like an Easter egg hunt when it's nothing that, like I said, feels important to you. But when it's important to you, then it's a real bummer. So, and it's really annoying. So, and that's where it's great to have like the Mandela effect page to go on to. So
I wanted to ask you, it's about Back to the Future. Do you remember Marty having 2 ties on him in Back to the Future 2?
2 ties?
Do you remember the old version of himself? Do you remember him wearing 2 ties?
I don't remember. Why would he wear 2 ties?
I know.
No.
It just kind of sticks out now. So can I share that with you?
Yeah. I was gonna look it up. You didn't show it to me because I'm like, what?
Yeah, Lurk Learner pointed it out. I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is Marty McFly in Back to the Future 2. Does anybody remember him having 2 ties?
I do. Brian?
You do?
100%. I'd bet my life on it.
when did you watch the movie though?
I watched it about a month ago. I remember it because I remember the two coming together makes a sun. If you look at it.
Yes, yeah. I get the man's excuse for it or whatever, but do you remember watching this back in the day, like when it came out in the theater?
Yes, I did. That? Yes.
I don't remember that.
Because I remember them explaining that in the future they wore two ties. I remember that.
I just say it looks weird, but I honestly, the third, I'm guessing this is the
second movie.
Yeah, the second one. Sorry, I'm thinking of the third one is the one where he goes back to the Old West. The second one I didn't watch as many times, so I'm not as familiar with it. I mean, some of those effects I have to see in like motion and watch the movie to go, yeah, that makes sense, or no, I don't remember that because it's a when I hear him and watch him fix his tie, that would bring back memories of.
Yeah.
I guess you can call those like the anchor memories. Would be like, oh, I remember him doing something with his tie that would make me remember that other tie. So that's where, like said, sometimes when I like comment on people's stuff or like they'll ask a question, like sometimes I like to really research it because like maybe I don't want to just like answer and go, oh, well, I do remember it that way. Because sometimes, like I said,
Lurk Learner says it wasn't explained at all in the film about the ties. Are you sure you remember that, Teresa?
I remember somebody saying something about ties, but I don't remember what part it was. I don't know. Maybe not.
I remember him fidgeting with the necktie.
Yeah.
I cannot pronounce people's names.
You know what it could have been? Hey, guys, you know what it could have been? It could have been to do with the pockets. That's what it was. The pockets, when they say all the kids have their pockets out, remember?
Oh, yeah.
That's the part. Yeah, no, they didn't explain about the tie, but they did explain about the very beginning when he gets there and he says, pull your pants pockets out. All the kids do that in the future. But the ties, they didn't explain about it. But you want to know how I remember the two ties? Can I tell you how?
How?
Because when I look at it, it makes the sun just like the sun that's on the Karate Kid's headband. That's how I remember that. Remember the Karate Kid, the residue of the sun? The one that the Mandela effect about how it looks now. Remember the Mandela effect is it's red and white and it's got the sun on it. Well, that's, if you look at its tie, it kind of has that look when the ties are together. Do you see it? When the two ties are put together, it looks like a sun. Show it again, Brian. The sun. I'm sorry, the ties.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, you'll see what I'm talking about. That's how come I remember it, because I remember seeing the it come together as the sun, and I'm like to myself, you know what? Because it looks like the Karate Kid headband. The one that supposedly don't exist no more. You still got it there?
Yeah, let me see.
Okay, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'll show you. You just had it a minute ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely did look like a
sun. Get back up here.
All right.
Yep. So the two ties.
Put them together and you'll see it. You got it?
Yeah, can you see that? Yeah.
Yeah, now see, look at the second picture. See the second picture on the top?
Yeah, I do not remember the two ties.
But if you put the two ties together, you see what it does? It makes the sun.
I get that, but I don't remember the two ties. That's what I'm saying. I
do, 100%, because I thought it was weird looking. Seriously, I did.
There's no point to it. Seemed like I would have noticed that, you know. It
was a futuristic, I guess, fashion or something. I don't know.
I wish I had those self-lacing shoes. You know, that would be awesome.
Or the clothes that fit to your.
Yeah.
I like that part. Like, you put on whatever clothes you want, and then like it all fits right to you. That would be nice. So.
Hey, so can we get on with the rest of the show, Sandy? Or we still need more time?
I need about not even 5 more minutes. Didn't Teresa want to share
Oh my
something?
god.
Teresa, I
What?
thought you wanted to share something.
I did, but I don't know what it was now.
Oh no.
I know I have that one other thing with since we talked about goodness in the morning, I was
Oh, I know.
talk about it.
Sandy, the horns. The horns.
The horns. What
What
horns?
about
The hair.
Teresa, you'd have to ask Brian to find it in the group or send him a link to it.
I don't know where. No, I sent it to you, and I don't know where it's at now.
Teresa, I'm the one who needs time. I can't go looking for it. But you know what?
Well, Brian.
I'm lying. I don't need time. I'm ready to go if you guys want to go.
All right, never mind then.
It's just
Are we ready?
Teresa wanted to share a beauty trend where girls are literally
Yes. Or what?
they're putting horns on their head.
Girls? Or guys?
Girls.
Really? Show me that, Teresa. Can you send it to me?
The thing is, I don't know where it's at. I sent it to Sandy. Now I can't find it.
Hold on. I'm just quick Google search it.
Oh, hair horns. Yes, I see
The
that.
double horn hair.
I see that. It's on TikTok.
Yes.
Um.
Oh. Well, I'm finding
Okay.
that very evil. That's.
Yeah,
I'm going to just show that. Yeah, it's very evil.
I'll share my screen then. We can talk about this
Yeah,
one.
do it, Brian. Yeah, I found that. I'm like, no.
So this is
It's a new fad.
hair horns. Hair horns are the newest style now that women are wearing.
It's creepy. Yeah, wait till you see this, guys.
I don't want to play the music. Actually, I might get copyright.
Just mute it then, Brian.
You guys see that?
Yes,
So weird.
I mean,
Why do they need horns on their heads? Come on. Uh-oh.
hair horns? Okay. Hang on, let me stop this. Okay. You see that? Hair horns?
You see that?
It's based on a TikTok by Pontier, I guess. It appears that they were inspired by TikTok user Bloody Pinecone, who also did not take credit for creating the hair horn. So this is
creepy.
I'm gonna cut horns into my hair because I missed it when it was a trend and it was really cute. So I'm gonna do it. I don't really know how you're supposed to do it.
She looks like Cruella de Vil with her hair right there.
She cut like the underlayer of her hair so that she can like hide them when she didn't want them. So I'm gonna try and do that. Hair look like a bug.
Really? Oh, come on, people. Come on.
Apparently it's a thing now. You know, it's
Brian, that's really baffling me.
Hey, you should just Google women with horns. There's actually a lady who has horns on her head coming out of her forehead.
But why? I mean, who wants to walk around looking like a demon? Come on.
Well, this lady looks like she was born with it.
Oh my god.
Are you serious?
Horns: a brief history of strange growths from heads. Like, she's an older lady.
No, John, not corns, horns.
Yeah, wow, that's weird. She literally has horns coming out of her head.
Is it this woman here?
Okay. Yes.
Looks like a unicorn.
Woman? Yeah. Apparently that's a thing.
What?
A book was actually published about people having horns. 1984, a book was published about it.
No way.
Yeah, because we were talking about, I didn't realize it was hair horns, so I just put horns. And
Oh, that's real?
Women with Horns is a short story written by Filipino something. The story was first
Creepy.
published in Focus Philippines in 1984 as a part of an author's first short story collection, Women with Horns and Other Stories. So I don't know if it was a true story or not, but that's pretty interesting.
Lurk Learner in the chat says, Dr. Pimple Popper actually did a video on removing horns. People are born with them here.
What?
Yeah, apparently people are born with them here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Yeah, apparently this is
the weirdest reality I've ever been in.
Top of his head. Wow. Well.
That's crazy.
Where the heck are we, guys? Where are we?
Just click your heels 3 times. You can go back to.
I want to go home.
It says a continuous horn is a type of lesion or growth that appears on the skin. This skin condition is more common in older adults, and both men and women can have it. Many horns are benign and non-cancerous, but they can also be precancerous or cancerous. So, wow.
Oh, my God.
What if humans had horns? I just love all these extra questions that they're like other people look up all the time.
Kind of reminds me of that movie. Oh, what was it called? The guy that had the horns, the red guy. Remember that movie? He was big and strong.
Hellboy?
Yeah, Hellboy. Kind of reminds me of something like that. You know? Are we going to wake, guys? Are we going to wake up one day and have horns on our heads? Is that the next change?
Can you be 2 times?
Please no.
Please no. I don't want no horns.
Okay.
Something extra to take care of.
Sandy, can I go ahead and get on with the rest of the show?
Yes, I'm starting to crash, guys.
Okay. So, guys, we have to pick up because we got
it's late.
Let's see. It is getting late.
I'm starting to crash.
We want to try and get more people in here. Okay, we have quite a few effects to go through here. It's not a whole lot, but I mean it's.
We got a few.
It's a pretty decent amount.
Some are longer.
So I want to ask you guys, please spell the Pledge of, can I say it?
Yes.
Allegiance. How do you spell allegiance? And don't let the spell correct fix your, whatever you're typing.
BLP.
Spell it the way you know.
And if you guys saw me present this on Freaky Friday yesterday, just answer.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the chat. Okay, so we have Eddie says allegiance. I see allegiance with an ALLEGIANCE. Anyone else? Are you guys? I'm seeing a lot of the same stuff here. Are you guys using spell correct? Okay, finally, Danny Mal says allegiance with an E, and that's how I remember it.
I'll write that one down.
Anyone else?
Allegiance.
Orler Greg says, I don't do spelling stuff. I know changes are happening, so minor details are unimportant to me.
Amy Smart remembers it like Dan, except I didn't understand Dan when he told me. So I didn't get any residue of that, but that's how Dan remembers it. ALLEGENCE.
Okay. Well, some of you may be surprised to find out the real spelling of it, and I'm going to present that right now.
But that's not the issue, Brian. That's just the side note. There's
Okay.
a lot more to this than just the EA thing.
Apparently, Sandy, do you want to read this, or are you busy?
No, I can. There are two issues here. The first is the spelling. Dan and I remember allegiance, INCE, but it's always been IANCE. And like I said, Dan actually remembers it without the I. The root word allegiant, we're going to get into now. I think I show residue first. Yeah, so here's residue of allegiance with an E first. Or allegiant with an E. I'm using both. And this Sears and Target both have it spelled wrong.
Well, this kind of reminds me of the word vengeance, because vengeance is the same way.
Yeah. But not what I'm about to tell you about, Brian. You don't know this yet.
What is it?
You'll see. It's coming up.
Man, it's messing with my head. This hurts my head. That's what I was going to ask you also.
No, what I'm about to tell you is going to hurt your head.
All right, tell me.
It's coming up. Here we go. The second issue. I don't know what to make of this. It's like I stumbled onto a reality where allegiant or allegiance was spelled with 3 L's. Well, I can't read the bottom. You got to scroll down so I can read it. While looking at Google Maps, I saw the new Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. But in one frame, there's 3 L's on the building. And, you know, I immediately thought glitch, but we're going to get into that. So here's the image I saw. And I want you all to take note of the 2 thicker L's. They should be closer together. When you see the 2L version, those 2 L's are closer together. So for them to be that far apart and have something in the middle, that shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see it in a minute.
So was that like a Mandela effect within a Mandela effect kind of thing, like, or one led to the other?
Yeah. So normally a glitch in Google Maps due to a camera or tech error will affect a whole area of the image. This is not what's happening here. It's just that extra L in the middle of 2. And you can see, like, these are the glitches that happen in Google Maps.
Mm-hmm.
They're nothing like just a letter appearing out of nowhere.
Yep. So the middle L is thinner, but most importantly, the gap between the 2 L's is larger than the sign with just 2 L's.
Right.
Who
So look at the
volunteers
2
to
L's.
fly there?
Brian,
Go
go
see
back
it.
to that.
Wait, what?
People
Okay.
don't move around. See it. I need them to see that the 2 L's are closer together. And the one with the 3 L's, the 2 L's are farther apart. Like, this is not a glitch. I don't know what this is. It's weird. What were you saying, Esther?
I said, who's going to volunteer to fly there and see it in person so we can?
Well, Teresa's a cab.
Okay, well, we'll have Teresa drive down there and like take a picture. And
it's only one frame. The rest of the pictures all show 2. So, but my logical side said this can't be real. So I did some research, and what I found broke my brain. There's 3 L's all over the place, guys. Like government documents.
What?
I
Hang
don't
on.
understand why this even exists.
Allegiant.
Like, if I just saw one of these, I'd think it was a typo. But when I see a sign on a building have an extra L, a weird looking one at that, and then all of a sudden I'm finding, you're not going to find it that way, Brian.
Okay.
I had to force search. I had to force search. It's going to correct it to 2. What I'm saying is, I think I stumbled upon a reality that merged into ours where 3 L's was acceptable. Because
Oh my
there's
goodness.
too much 3 L's out there to ignore. In old newspapers, websites.
Somebody got too L happy.
Yeah, and again, I would think typo if they weren't all over the place, and I didn't see an image that doesn't make any sense to me. Like I said, it's not just there's a third L in that frame on Google Maps. The other 2 L's are farther apart than they should be. So the 2 L's moved outwards, and a third L that was thinner is in the middle. It's so bizarre. I don't know what to make of this.
Maybe that side of the building's in like that part of the reality, and another part's in a different one.
I don't know. It's
It's
just weird.
weird.
But all I know is that there shouldn't be 3 L's all over the place.
Yeah.
A lot of 3 L's.
You'll have to keep an eye out for that, because that is weird.
And then in our reality, it is now acceptable to spell quintillion with 2 or 3 L's.
Which one?
When you're done showing the images, we'll Google. So look at this. This is a government form for itemized receipts and disbursements, and they wrote the name of their employer as Allegiant with 3 L's.
Is this affecting anyone here? Well, what does the chat say?
That it's ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's just not right. I mean, I could see them like shortening it to 1 or something, but to put an extra one, it's just kind of weird.
It is weird. All right, so I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think this was just a Google error, a glitch in the matrix, or do you think we've merged with a reality, like I said, where those words are spelled with 3 L's? I'm actually leaning towards the latter.
Maybe in that, the Berenstein Bears will be spelled correctly. Let's go bring a book over there and see if it changed.
Well, there was that one video. You remember that viral video about this guy carrying a book with the Berenstein Bears on it all throughout his house?
Oh,
Yeah.
It was only when he went in that one room in his house where it kept changing that.
That was a filter.
I know it's a fake.
That's what I was thinking of when I was like, well, let's
Ryan,
bring
go back. I have to read.
Book.
You can't keep going because we're talking. You're talking, you're not moving. You stay. I didn't read it
Okay,
yet.
sorry.
All right. I do not know if these have been covered before, but while creating this presentation, 2 things caught my eye on Allegiant airplanes that I've never seen before. And last night, Dan went and looked up the actual airplane model, and it's not just Allegiant, it's United, it's Delta, it's American Airlines. I definitely should have seen this plane before. I live right near Philadelphia International Airport. The planes land practically over my head. They literally land over your head on I-95. So, and that's a Mandela effect too, because I don't remember there being a landing path over 95, and now there is. But anyway, 2 changes I've never seen before on airplanes. So just pretend it just says airplanes. All right, let's go.
TMT for life. I believe Teresa's just like in the background. I don't know why her thing is her avatars.
It's a StreamYard glitch.
Oh.
All right, the minor new thing for me is
What'd she say?
She's talking about
That's
your
something
picture's
was looking
white for us. The minor
somebody
new
was
thing
asking where
for
you're
me, Esther, she will obsess over this. Let's just move on. The minor new thing for me is the extra window above the standard windshield. Do you guys remember airplanes with a window above the windows?
No.
Wouldn't that kind of blind them?
You would
The
think.
sun coming through the window?
It's a very good point.
I mean, if you're flying in the sun, I mean, you would try to like decrease the amount of sunlight coming into the cockpit.
You would think. I agree with that 100%. Very good point. Very good point.
That just looks weird.
It is. It's on both sides, too. There's two of them.
Oh my, okay. Well, I've never seen that before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, Allegiant airplanes are known for having the oldest airplanes. Like, some of them are 23 years old. So, this is definitely not new, is what I'm trying to say. So, the second one, the major change for me, is this hole that I'm calling the blowhole on the rear tail. Now, this is not one of those airplanes with the jet on the very back. It's just a normal tail end. Brian, why are you not showing the image?
Which one?
You turn the image off.
Hang on, let me go back. All right. Let me share the screen.
So there's a hole at the base of the tail. And Dan looked it up, and it turns out it's a vent for the air conditioning compressor. I don't ever remember seeing a hole in the tail.
Do all airplanes have this now?
No, the MD-80 model does. Here, I'm going.
Oh.
They're not in there. I should add them to the folder. But really quickly, Brian, I'm going to send you a couple other airplanes where you can see the see that hole that we found last night. Sorry, I'm scrolling. Give me a minute. Here we go.
Hi, Price.
There you go. So there's some more images. You can really see it on the. Oh, you can't. Let me see. One of those images is not needed. Yeah, you can see it slightly. So this is the full-size airplane when you show it. And also, I didn't put this in my presentation. Do the bodies of airplanes seem longer to you guys? Like, look how long the body of this airplane is. Like, that's long, isn't it?
Well, those seem pretty long.
So that's the airplane. There's no jet on the back. The last image that you're going to show, you can see the hole on the American Airlines one the best. The last image.
Okay, yeah, I see the American Airlines one. Is that it?
No, the next one. Well, you have one more at the bottom. You can really see it there.
Oh my goodness.
So on this model of airplane, they all have the hole.
Well, it wasn't on the plane that I flew in.
It's only on the ones with the jet engines on the sides of the tail of the plane, and I've never seen that before. Hey, Brian, why don't you do Teresa before she falls asleep?
All right, which one am I doing for Teresa?
Antarctica.
I'm eating carrot cake right now to give me some sugar, guys. I'm literally eating cake.
I think it's nice. I love carrot cake.
You know who's got the best carrot cake I've ever had? Albertsons. You get a big slice of cake for $4.49, and it's almost it's 10 ounces, and it's a little over $4. Oh my God, they have the best carrot cake, guys. Albertsons, #1. Seriously.
Not
I bought 2
like
pieces
walnuts.
of it.
If you don't like walnuts, you will not like it. All right,
Is there
Teresa,
walnuts
you want to read yours?
homemade bakery down the road is awesome too. So,
Oh, really?
unfortunately,
Brian,
you guys can't have access to them. It's a family owned.
Can you submit on, please? I'm sorry.
Oh, what was that, Teresa?
I asked if he can zoom in on the picture a little bit. It's a little small. I see Indian something. Indian biologist, Professor Felix
Fast.
something. There you go. Better. I'm sorry. Has discovered a new plant species in Antarctica. Sorry, guys. I'm on my cell phone. Okay. Oh, Lordy. Here we go. Okay. It's a moss that they've named Brian Bahar Thai
Oh, no, wait, no.
Only
I was Teresa, stop. I'm going to read the name. I didn't do that. That was spell check because I was rushing to get this done for the show. Hold on. Let me get the real name for you guys.
Hi,
I
Master
thought you just named him Brian. I'm sorry.
No, yes, you thought it was the phonetic saying. No, that's not it. Give me a minute. I got to go and fix that for other stuff. It's called. Hold on a second. I got to scroll in the article.
I was like, okay, the plant's called Brian.
John Nada, does the whole paycheck vegan cake actually cost a whole paycheck? Because that would be so good. Vegan cake. I noticed the chat, John. It was saying whole paycheck.
No, $4.49, not 400.
Okay.
$4.49.
What's up with the 3 L's?
It's called Brian Barantiensis.
It's named after Brian.
Bahar Thai sisters. Wow. That is ridiculous. All right. And the only image that exists at this time, go ahead, Teresa,
is rainbow, yet the description, Brian, go back down.
Yep.
The description says it's dark green. But yeah, look at the picture, Brian. I was like, no, this is rainbow. Look at the colors of it. That's it. It's so funny.
I was just reading John's comment. Whole Foods equals whole paycheck.
That is funny. That is funny because they are expensive.
No, I don't have a Whole Foods near me, guys. I wish I did. I don't have one around my area where I live at. Otherwise, I love Whole Foods.
How much does it cost for? I see them advertising like thick steaks over there. How much is a thick steak from there?
I
don't know that one.
By
you gonna read that, Teresa?
Pronounce your name, Euler Greg.
While researching this, I found fascinating images of moss and lichen, supposedly, aka according to Google, are all over the 1% of Antarctica that isn't covered by ice and snow. Sandy, I think you found that part, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, that was you.
Says, while I was researching, yeah.
That was Sandy. This part. I had the rainbow part, and while Sandy was getting the rainbow pictures for me, she discovered this. Look at this in Antarctica. I never realized there was that much. What is that?
Me either.
It looks like moss.
It is.
Wow. Oh.
Did you know these plants? I had no idea that these plants were living in Antarctica. Did you? And now a new ball appears that looks like a rainbow.
I thought that kind of moss could only grow in like hot and humid temperatures.
You would think.
That's what I thought.
Same way with all the algae that's growing.
Is that a sign that the polar caps are in fact melting?
I think they are.
No, it's only 1%. It's only 1%.
Oh.
Well, that sounds like
1%. Like I said, I found every color of the rainbow snow. And it's caused by algae that grows in snow. And that's exactly what I said when I presented that. I thought algae needed heat to grow, but apparently not, because it grows in snow now. So I just think
Algae grows in snow?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's what causes all the different colors, the pink, the red, and what other colors are there? Green, blue, yellow? I don't know.
Couldn't eat the blue snow outside. Okay. Or the green snow. Or is that called grass?
Yeah. Yes, Andy?
Beef ribeye steak is $15.99 a pound, but they go by your location. So in Philly, it's $15.99 a pound. For the thick steak, it can go up to $19.99 a pound. Oh, $29.99 a pound for filet mignon.
How about here in Nevada, Las Vegas?
I don't know. I just put it defaults to my zip code, Teresa.
Well, is it still cheaper than eating it at the restaurant? Or I mean, what would you say?
I would say go to a regular supermarket and pay $10.99 a pound and go get it home.
Go get a good steak. Go to Albertsons and get it. I heard Albertsons got the best steaks. Either them or Smith's. I heard Walmart steaks suck.
What should I do next, Sandy? Because there's 3 that I'm eyeballing right now. The 3 Mandela effects.
Well, the one that you're eyeballing the most, do last.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Why?
Do that one last.
Okay. Let's talk about the Berlin Gate.
Okay.
Now I ran into this one a while back. This is probably like 4 years ago. Do you know who originally found it?
I found it when I found it a long time ago. And this is weird. Well, I explained in the thing, I have 2 memories of this, but neither memory is what it is now.
All right, so let's talk about this one. Apparently, in June 12th, 1987, President Reagan gave a Mandela-affected speech. Tear down that wall.
Brian, were you talking about the speech or the gate? Just now, were you talking about the speech?
That's the one I clicked on. I clicked on the one about the gate.
Right, but what I'm saying is, you said you've known about this for 4 years. Were you talking about the gate or the speech?
No. I was talking about the speech. I remember him clearly saying, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall."
So do I. I thought you were talking
100%. You can gag me, blindfold me, wherever you want to do. It was tear down that wall for me.
I agree with you. I'm just saying I was answering the gate, not the speech. I don't know who found this. I watched a video on it back in the day. I agree 100% it was that. But I was talking about the gate. Having the dual memory. That was
the speech was given in Berlin in front of a famous archway gate.
Mm-hmm.
So please spell the name of the gate that you remember.
I can't say it.
Oh, okay. Anyone in the chat? I want to say it's Bramberg? No.
Let's see.
I don't know, Sandy. I'm left up.
UPLE.
Anyone in the chat?
I unfortunately don't know.
It was that wall for me, but I believe you guys. Scott Garrison and Amanda Animal said this wall for them.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, I wouldn't be able to be. I wouldn't know if it's this or that wall because I think I've heard it like once. It's not a common enough phrase in my circle of what I've watched and listened to.
Teresa can't turn down the volume for Liminal. That's just the way, it's like automatic.
I mean, maybe that's if she could set it down and walk 10 feet away.
I can mute myself, guys.
No,
I can do that.
It was just voice is 10 times louder.
Oh, wait. I can turn it down. Is that better? Is that better?
I don't know.
Like I have no idea how loud I am on for
I
you
think,
guys either.
Teresa, I think to them, it's StreamYard. It's StreamYard's automatically. You don't like Hangouts. You used to be able to like adjust the volume, and you can't do that.
Oh.
All right, so there is one answer in the chat. Don't know is okay. I understand. Mandanimal has the current memory, and she remembers Brandenburg.
So what is it?
Keep going.
What?
Keep going in the presentation.
Okay. So you said I have a dual memory on this one, but this is where it gets nutty. Neither of my memories are the current reality, and that's what you said at the start.
Said. Yep. So next.
I remember both the Bradenburg.
No, Bradenburg. I remember Bradenburg. And
Battenberg. While spelled differently, they both sound very similar. Hey,
so
Seth.
Bradenburg and Battenberg. But it is Brandenburg.
Seth, you want to say hi to everyone?
How many people? Like 30?
There's like 30 people watching. Want to say hi?
Sup, my peeps?
Hi, Seth.
Hi, Seth.
Sup?
Hi, Seth.
We're talking about something in history.
What?
We're talking about something in history.
The Brandenburg?
The Brandenburg Gate. So is that what it is now? The Brandenburg Gate?
Right. And in my past, it was Bradenburg and Battenberg. Like I have a dual memory, and just keep going, Brian, because you're making me explain stuff that I've written down. Keep going.
Okay. Keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
The name Brandon was never in the name of the gate for me. I suspect it was Battenberg, but then changed to Bradenburg, which is why I have dual memory, and more recently changed to Brandenburg, at least in my reality. I think that's why I have dual memory. Because there's residue for both. Of course there is. So here we go, Bradenburg Gate. I use bright green for Bradenburg and dark green for Battenberg.
Yeah, now Teresa's missing again.
I think that's the TV for Seth in the background.
I mean, I've seen the picture of that gate before in movies and stuff, so.
I think I know a lot of these places because I took art history.
Yeah. I mean, it looks familiar because I've seen them in, like, I don't remember which movies, but.
Well, this is interesting right here, this tweet. Brian, you want to read that tweet out loud?
Yeah, it's from a guy named Harrison Osterfield. For a long time, I guess it means very, very long time, I thought the Brandenburg Gate was called the Battenberg Gate. Turns out it has no relation to the cake. The Battenberg Gate.
But I'm gonna have an image with a sentence in it that I'm gonna have you read. So keep going. So on Flickr we have two people sharing the.
So is this where this famous speech was given?
Yeah, right outside of it.
Wow. I wonder if my dad would know.
Maybe.
I mean, because he's big into history. He knows all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's very smart.
Well, 1,000%. The name Brandon was never in the gate for me.
Oh, I'm a dude. Man, Danny Mouth. He said he's a guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's hard to tell from, the blue circle and then just Mandanimal. Sorry about that.
Yeah, see, like right above it, it says ex-wife loved Battenberg lace. Yeah, it is hard to tell sometimes with screen names and stuff. So, like every time I go on chat, it still has my son's name. So, if they don't see my face, they think I'm a boy. I'm like, no, mom, not a boy.
Check this out. This is Brian. You got to scroll down. Look at the top of that
Yeah, Lego art.
illustration. Bradenberg. Look at that.
Bradenberg.
Oh, the Lego one too. Oh, that one's got the.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Somebody spelled it wrong.
Yeah.
It's one of those where the residue is different from what they posted.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I think they'd want to spell check that.
I thought that whole thing was about the speech. I remember the speech. Did we lose Teresa? Okay, we got her back. All right. Hey, Teresa.
Hi, Brian.
How long have you been gone?
2 minutes.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You just look for me in the backstage where everybody else goes.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about gremlins. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, just to give you a heads up. Is that the last one? If so, then no.
Let me see.
You're saving that for last.
Yeah.
No, really quick. If I get kicked out, keep an eye out for me backstage. Because StreamYard
All right, I will.
kicking me out between an hour and a half.
Will you guys help me? Teresa and Esther, can you guys help me with that? If you see Sandy getting kicked out?
Yeah, I'll notice it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We got to. I'm getting tired.
I'll try to answer you, Lemon, in a second.
Yes, Ann Gaynor. It is Brandenburg now.
Okay, so tonight I present to 3 possible Mandela effects surrounding Married with Children.
Teresa, calm down. It's not that.
The iconic American sitcom from the 1980s and 1990s. Now, we may have conflicting opinions about this, but we're going to take a look
Brian,
at it.
that's not in here. That's not in here.
Okay, all right. So recently, Sandy discovered that Al Bundy's real name had changed. And then Teresa explained that it was already posted in the group before she was a member. So credit is shared with Beth Shaw, who posted this way back in 2018.
Yes. I agree with that one. I agree with that 100%. Right,
Okay.
Sandy? Yeah.
Please spell Al Bundy's real last name. In other words, the actor's name. It was Ed O'Neill, but how do you spell O'Neill?
Sandy's
Let's see.
backstage.
Oh, and I just want to point out, guys, in case anybody cares, he's a black belt. He does jiu-jitsu and other kind of martial arts. But yeah, that's the huge deal to become a black belt. My boss has been trying for years. He's almost a black belt. So this is a huge, big deal. Yeah, in case you care.
Hi, Sandy. So, she's now in the backstage.
Wait, who is?
Sandy.
Sandy, go get Sandy.
All right, let's go round her up. Okay.
Yeah, she's like, hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
I've been backstage. Yeah, I told you it was going to happen.
Cool.
StreamYard has a bug and they won't fix it.
Yeah. Okay, Ed O'Neill. Okay, did anybody, let me see, out of all the
No.
responses,
There's only
did
one
we
answer.
get 1 L? Did we get 1 L or 2 L's?
We need people to answer. There's only one answer.
Right. So put down what you guys think. 1 L or 2 L's in the chat, please.
I remember 1L.
Or 3 L's.
No,
Oh, God.
don't even start.
Oh,
No,
God.
don't start. No.
Esther,
Don't get Sandy started on that.
Esther, that was good. That was a good one, Esther.
Wouldn't that be crazy if one day we wake up and there's 3 L's for O'Neill?
I don't know if you were noticing the chat earlier, but I can't remember which one it was, but it kept mentioning the L's.
All right, Shelby and Ann Gaynor both say it was Ed O'Neill with 1 L's.
And so does Jeff Zanzibar. He said that earlier.
Oh, Jeff Zanzibar? Okay.
And
All
their
right, so we're clear on that one. Most of us remember 1 L, but would you be shocked to find out there was 2 L's?
Oh, that's just weird.
Yes, Brian,
Well,
I am.
Yeah, his name was Ed O'Neill.
God, it looks weird.
Yeah, I know it does.
So
But
weird.
his name in this reality is O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been in a couple of other things. I mean, of course, Modern Family.
Sandy, did you do the
Oh, Riley's auto parts. Oh, my
Oh,
And
she
what
did not.
he was a shoe salesman, right? Wasn't he a shoe salesman?
Yeah.
Ed O'Neill with 1 L. Again, 1 L. This is residue.
There's ignore the red we're gonna get to. That's coming up next.
Speaking of Seagal, didn't Seagal change like his name?
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal. It used to be it looked like Seagull, but now it's 2 L's in his name.
No.
No, his name is S.
I love Steven
now.
Seagal.
Steven Seagal. Let me see.
It's Seagull. It's Seagull now, right?
It should be S.
Yeah, it's SEA. SEA.
Seagull. Yeah.
Yeah, it has an extra A in it.
It was
Yeah, that wasn't good.
SEGAL.
No. It was SEGAL. Wasn't it?
SEGAL.
That's what I said. It was SEGAL. I didn't mean to say that there was 2 L's. I never mind.
Seagull, not seagull. He's not a seagull. Oh.
Yeah, it was SEGAL, right?
All right, you skipped over the last one. Go back. There you go. All right, so this is question number 2. And the name of the actress who played Peggy Bundy is Katie Sagal. Not Seagal. Sagal. Now, a lot of people, when I presented this part, remembered Seagal as well. It's always been Katie Sagal for me.
Yeah.
But some people do remember Seagal for her. But I'm talking about her first name. Please spell Katie how you remember it's spelled.
What is it?
Teresa, how do you remember her first name spelled?
I'm sorry?
How do you remember her first name spelled?
Ooh, what's my choice? K-A-T.
Katie, right?
It's funny. That's what I said.
I-E. K-A-T-I-E.
Interesting.
I don't remember K-A-T-Y. I know that. What is it now?
We're going to get to that. We only want to answer in the chat again.
I remember K-A-T-I-E.
Okay, in the chat, Jeff Zanzibar remembers E-Y. Scott Garrison remembers K-A-T-Y.
That's
Esther,
a
what
tough
do you remember?
That's a tough one. Oh.
Esther?
Oh, dog.
I thought you said my name, but I wasn't positive.
Don't give me a duel. Oh, my God.
I mean, the only way I can think of it would be the K-A-T-I-E, but that's how I would spell it. But I've only done a recent search on her name before a few days ago. I had absolutely no idea what her name was, so I can't be 100%. So
All right. Well, I remember it like Scott Garrison. It was Katy, and I have 100% residue coming up. So we're gonna go on, Brian. But
Okay.
IE is in her past, which is weird. I'm gonna show it to you.
Yeah, that looks weird.
Yeah, it
So
does.
her name is now EY,
Yeah.
and that looks wrong to me. It's too long.
Okay. That was me. I hit my foot.
It's okay. Her name was just Katy in my past. And
Hey,
I remember
Seth.
seeing it thinking that's spelled weird because at the time I had only ever seen Katie spelled Katie. So here we can see her signature twice with just Katy.
Yeah.
The way I remember it.
Yeah, exactly. That was her signature?
Supposedly, they're selling it as her autographed picture.
Katie Seagal signed and autographed. Futurama. Wow. That's so weird. Yeah, what's strange is it's one of those dual part residues. Yeah, the Katie with a Y here, but then they added the E right there.
Especially with the guy on the right because he knows her. He wrote her down both ways.
Yeah.
That's just the top of the article. And then the bottom is the residue.
Whatever happened to that actress? Did she ever do anything else? Like, wasn't she in some other stuff?
Oh, yeah. She's been in a ton of stuff, but I can't think off the top of my head.
I know she was the one-eyed girl in Futurama.
Yeah,
Yeah,
since Futurama, though, she's been in things recently, and I can't think of what.
I don't know about you guys, but I see, like, with a lot of movies, typically, they take a popular actor, and when the actor gets older, like when they get into their, like they appear to be really old now, they actually become bad guys in the newer movies that come out.
Hey, Brian, when you're done this, I need you to go to Google.
Did you hear what I said? I said, did you see that trend? There's like a trend where actors and actresses, like say Michael Keaton, he played Batman. He was a good guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they turned him into a bad guy in the Spider-Man movies. Like, well, and some other stuff. Anyway.
The Connors, Rebel, Dead to Me, Spirit Riding, Grand Hotel, Shameless, Spirit Riding Free, Superior Donuts, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, stuff like that. Oh, she was in Dirty Dancing TV movie. Okay.
Married with Children.
The Big Bang Theory.
And at the very bottom, you'll see Katie. The very bottom.
She was in The Big Bang Theory?
She was in one episode.
Which episode? Because I've seen them all.
Conjecture? She played Susan.
Oh.
She does look really familiar. Like, I'm sure I've seen her.
All right, really quick. John, quintillion is acceptable both ways. If you search quintillion with 3 L's in quotations on Google, you'll see dictionary entries, including Webster's, where it comes up as quintillion with 3 L's. In print, it's probably going to say 2. It's not that it's replaced it. It's that both are acceptable. And that just makes no sense because 3 L's was never acceptable in English.
Hold on. So Married with Children, are you remembering, Sandy, that there were 3 dots?
I do. I remember there were 3 dots, and they're not there anymore. Except, ironically, on Fox's own, like, press release photos.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'm just mentioning
the
that.
Opening credits had changed, specifically the logo at the end. right?
No, you read that wrong. The opening credits to Married with Children has changed for me. Specifically, the logo at the end of the opening credits, not the end credits, the opening credits. So this is the last one with Married with Children. The logo, you'll see, because I have a video clip to show you. But first, I have a graphic to ask you what you remember.
Okay.
Do you remember with children when the stamp came down? Do you remember on top of married or under married? So
Can I answer that, Sandy, or should I wait on the audience?
Wait on the audience. Let's get the audience answers first. Do you remember 1 or 2? 1 is on top of
Teresa,
married.
can you actually, Esther, you're our guest here. Can you check the chat and see what they say? See what our chat's saying?
I don't.
No one's saying anything yet.
Yeah. On top.
Okay.
On top. So
Was the stamp on top or underneath?
So far, we have 2 that's saying on top, and
Yep.
the other one's saying on top. Where'd Teresa go?
I lost Teresa again.
I think everybody's saying.
You keep
on top.
leaving me in the backstage.
Yeah, everybody's saying on top so far.
So what
I
is
agree.
It, did it change?
Yes, it did.
All right, hold on a minute.
You're gonna be
That,
shocked.
like, yeah, I found a ton of patterns, like hundreds of patterns.
Sandy's been on a roll,
so
Brian.
Many patterns. There's so many
You hear
patterns
me?
that I've named my own man, like the Mandela variation effect. And
Yeah.
I mean, I
there's
thought it was
tons
on
of
top because
patterns.
it was married and then stamped on with children.
Mhm.
Like that. Guys, watch this.
You're gonna get a
Right through the word married and goes underneath.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's
Look.
weird.
Right through it.
Yeah.
No.
What's that? What's that?
Red.
Oh, no. I don't remember that.
So down the cross, remember the under, but bigger.
Isn't that crazy?
It
Where
does
is it,
drip like
Seth?
paint. It does. It's just that
Oh, that you mean
low res.
the Xiaomi?
It's hard to see.
What they do?
Different seasons had different colors, guys, but they all go underneath.
Wow. Okay, so Seth has told me that the Xiaomi, you know, the phone company, they're made out of China. They're coming out with wireless phone charging in the air. So
What?
you can literally air charge your phone.
No.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of the new ones that are coming out with like these little plate things you put your phone
Wait,
on.
in the air?
Yeah, in the air.
What? I've got to see. You got to send me a link to that. Seriously. That's crazy.
I know Preliminal has asked a few times about what other changes I saw after my accident, and at the time, I mean, I just chalked it up to just weird stuff happening, and so at the time I was like 15, so I didn't have a clue about the Mandela effect. So,
all right, should we hit them all?
I just wanted to answer that question. You asked it like 3
Wait,
times.
Brian, you're not done showing the folder.
Esther, did we all have near-death experience? Is that why we're all affected?
I don't know. I know some of the other comments. They're like, well, maybe we've all just passed away, and that's why there's so many of us had near-death
I
experiences.
had a near-death. I don't know.
Brian,
Have we all had it? Sandy did. I did.
The video.
I don't know if Brian did.
There's nothing there?
So I just hope Preliminal.
Right there?
Yeah, there's the residue. All right,
there's
so
the residue.
For those who didn't know, Biggins is the adult magazine that Al Bundy would peruse on the show. And the shirt is, it's an Al Bundy shirt. Biggins, lifetime subscriber.
Biggins.
The stamp is on top. Not married with child. Stamp is on top. And then a drag time parody, married with children, and the stamp is on top. And on top of that, the stamp underneath now, Teresa pointed out, the bar, it's like missing. The square, the rectangle around with children goes missing when it's behind married.
Yeah.
Wait, what? It's missing what's behind married?
Go back one slide to the red.
Uh-huh.
Go back to the red ones. Look underneath married. Look at the top left. The top left. See how the rectangle is gone?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's gone in the video too.
No way.
When it goes through the word
Hang on a
married,
minute. I thought I just saw it in that video clip. Didn't you?
Go play it again.
Did it just disappear?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's been gone. Oh, it's there. It's there.
It's there.
It's there. It's not on the DVDs.
Okay.
Weird.
That is weird. Even weirder is married. The I and the E is totally merged together. You can't even see it. The I.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But, everybody in the chat is remembering Red. I know they had different intros. Later seasons they changed the intro. It was the same intro, but they changed colors. And then I think it was season 9 or 11. It got like sparkles in it, which is weird. I don't remember that at all.
You awake?
Hmm?
All right, we're going to do one last Mandela effect, and this is the big one, okay, Sandy?
Okie dokie.
Which one?
Gremlins.
Oh.
Gremlins
Ooh,
again.
This is going to freak everybody out.
All right.
I covered Gremlins a lot.
Esther, can you see that?
Yes.
You want to read it?
Oh, yep. Sorry. I said I've covered quite a few changes in Gremlins before, so my memories of this movie are both old and recent. Yesterday, I found a drastic change to the real star of the movie franchise, Gizmo. Yeah, that cute little guy. Please tell me which Gizmo you remember, 1, 2, or 3. Where's his head look like? Oh, it's behind
me. Teresa, can you read from the chat like what people are saying?
Yes, I can. Let's see here. I'm waiting for people. Here we go. Ann Gaynor says 3. I'm waiting for some more to pop up. So far,
Sandy, that was a really good job of you. I guess, did you Photoshop those?
Oh, she loves Photoshopping.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that, Sandy.
It's magic.
Photoshop me in real life, you know.
Can you Photoshop me skinny, 100 pounds? Sandy, can you Photoshop to make me look skinny? Yeah?
Yes, I actually could, yeah.
Thank you. Lurk Learner says 3. Jeff Zanzibar says 3. Shelby Norwood says third one. Mandy Mal says 2 or maybe 1. Glitch Stoss says 3. Dominic Frost, welcome to the chat. He says 3. William Allen says 3. John Nada says 2. Mandy Mouse says, but not super.
Lurk Learner says 3, but what's on his head? It's just the artist drew gremlins.
Preliminal said 0.
So you don't have any
Splatter says 3.
I will say I did have a little bit of a difference. So I mean,
Splatter.
One of them has been photoshopped pretty good, but it's still just a little bit different than what I remember. But it's as close as you can get.
Dominic says hi, preliminal. Okay.
All right.
So far, that's it for now. Unless any more people.
How many 3? I mean, what is
a lot of 3s? 3's the majority. Just put it that way.
Okay. You guys are going to be totally shocked on this one. Okay.
Yep.
I believe Sandy found this one. She finds a lot of these.
She's been on a roll. I don't know.
Guys, I can't get over. It looks like he's wearing a brown jacket.
Oh my god.
I can't. It's number one.
He
Number
went
one
shopping.
now.
Number one is the one that he's
Yep.
now. No.
Yes, Brian. Yes.
Okay, Teresa, what are people saying in the chat right now?
Hello?
Nothing yet.
Lurk Learner says Gizmo, Spike, or Stripe.
Gizmo.
Yeah, I remember one of his legs that was brown, and the other one did have a little bit of a white spot, but he definitely did have brown legs.
Yeah.
For me, the brown. He always had a little bit of white around the wrist and the bottom of the feet, like at the ankle and the foot, but it was mostly brown arms and brown legs. Now he's got a short sleeve brown jacket on. I can't deal with
I
that.
think he's, Sandy, I think he's trying to be stylish.
Yeah, I guess so. He looks way too white, and the brown fur on him looks like a little. I just about to read it, but now it's gone.
Or maybe he's, hey, maybe he's cold and needs a jacket.
Okay. I also photoshopped this because I need you to look at the top of his head, Brian. Zoom up so you can go to the top of the head. He's got white. He's got a white head now too, and they also made the white around his eye bigger to the point where his face looks half white, half brown. That's wrong to me too. In my past, Gizmo had more brown than white fur. The white on his wrist wasn't so thick and fluffy, and didn't go halfway up his arms. Most importantly, his legs were brown.
Wow.
Oh, you never saw Gizmo Gremlins? I saw when I was like 5. No, I was like 6 or 7, and that movie freaked me out when I was that little.
This is what, show them the toy. This is what he looks like from the back. Get out of town. No way. No.
I remember we watched it with my kids, and they just laughed so hard. And I'm like, yeah, it's funny now that, you know.
Yeah, it's funny now, but we were scared back then when we watched it.
Yeah, because for us, that was real. I mean, I couldn't.
Yeah, it was
I
frightening.
literally slept on my parents' bed.
Brian, I can't read it. Go back. I'm not going to talk over people. If I can't read, you got to stay on the image. His entire body, front and back, is white from the middle down, and the top and back of his head is white now too. I don't remember any of this. Like, it even does like a butt shape. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, a butt shape.
Ann Gaynor says that's wrong on so many levels. I totally agree. So this is current reality. These are unretouched images, and the top 2 images are from the movie. You can see he's got his white legs bent. No. He had patches of white on him. He was mostly brown in my past. In my recent past, when I recently covered Gremlins in the past year, he had brown legs. And I'm so upset by this because it just changed on me. There's not much residue. The first one is okay, and then the second slide is like I'm reaching. I'll have to explain the residue. I put the image there twice so you can compare. See, now, pay attention to the face. Look at the face. They're like splitting the face half and half. I don't remember that. I remember a white circle around his eye, but then there was brown for his face next to the circle. But the top right image is him in the movie. It's almost half and half. Half white face, half brown. If the circle wasn't that big. It didn't encompass half his face.
Yeah, I don't remember the half and half.
I can't read that yet. It's not on my screen. There's hardly any residue of my memory. But my memory is so strong from recently covering Gremlins that I had to present this. Because normally, if I can't find residue, I don't cover it. Because there's always the possibility that I am remembering wrong. But this, I know this is wrong. So I had to present it. But there is some residue, just not much. And by the way, that's a cake. Whoever did that is freaking amazing.
Oh man, I just found something. Oh man, I found a picture that actually has him where his brown legs. He does have a little
residue, and if it's not in there, then we'll show it.
I wish I could be able to just like share it real quick on here. Let's see if I can do it on my phone. I just look at it's a diamond painting.
Oh, diamond painting I don't have. Why don't you just send it to Brian on Hangout, on Messenger? You can show it after he's done the folder.
Yeah, I was looking at it on my laptop, and then I'm like, let me look on my phone.
Sandy, did you finish reading this one?
Yeah, you can go next. You can go to the residue now. All
I'm
right,
starting to get a
so
little creepy.
I need to explain the Pez dispenser. Again, reaching here for residue. It should be white though. Most of his body is white. They should have made it white. The Gremlins one is green. That should be white. Instead, it's brown. I'm reaching here. I am fully aware. But the guy's costume, he's got brown legs. The images below, can I see, Brian? The head is mostly brown. Right now, he's got a white head, and his face is half and half. So that's residue for the face. And then on the right, it's residue for his head being mostly brown. So that's more head and arms. And here we have brown legs for the cake. The best residue is on the top right.
Yeah.
There's not much
So
residue
you
for
don't.
this.
Yeah, you don't remember the circle being completely around his eye, right?
No, I mean I remember it around his eye, but there was brown. There was brown. It wasn't like half his face is white, half his face is brown. He had a white circle around his eye, but there was brown around it too. It's too big now.
It's almost connected, and then he has a white beard too. What's up with that?
Yeah, he has a white beard now.
He's becoming old, I guess.
Yeah,
I
like
don't know.
Harry and the Hendersons. When I covered the Bigfoot. He's like gray and white now.
So I did share that thing with you, Brian. I'd sent it through the.
You sent it through Messenger.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
It does have some white on the feet, but you can tell that it does have brown legs though.
Actually, when you're done with this, Brian, after you show Esther's image, can we just do the logos and residue folder? It's really short.
All right, I'm gonna have to flip through it though. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's really short.
Okay. All right. All right. Wait. There's the one that Esther shared.
Yeah, so you can see the brown on his legs on the bottom.
It's not on screen. Oh yeah, that's nice. With the little bit of white around the ankle, yes.
Yeah.
The arms are a little too white, but that's a lot better. It's a lot better.
Yep.
That's the one I've been able to find so far, but I was like, that sounded closer. So.
Yeah, if you can send that to me, I can add it to the presentation. Add it to the folder. Or later, because I don't have much residue, so I could add it in. But the reason I show logos and residue folder is because some of the people who contributed to it are in the chat, so I'd like to show it.
There you go. There, I sent it to you personally, Sandy.
Thank you.
And I accidentally hearted it.
I know, I've been doing that too. Trying to open up to see it, and it hearts it instead. Hearting it and stuff.
I don't like it when it does it to like negative comments. I'm like, no, I didn't want to heart that one. I don't like the fact that you broke your ankle. It's like, no.
Sandy, I'm going to that folder now.
Okay.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I got to share that with you, Sandy, because I felt like it was pretty good still. Oh, he does look weird.
He does.
Wow, there's actually somebody crocheted one, and it literally looks like he's wearing a jacket.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It looks like
he's wearing a jacket now. It's crazy.
What are we looking at here, Sandy?
So this comes from John Nada. A lot of people remember the rainbow upside down. So instead of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, they remember purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. And this is in a stained glass window that he found.
What?
I enlarged it. It's stained glass, so it's running together. It's hard to see, but you can definitely see the red is at the bottom, and the blue and purple are at the top. Here's some residue of red bar flag. Okay, at the very bottom, Brian, I don't know if you can zoom in. You can read Hanna-Barbera the way I remember it. Can you see that?
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, it's actually that's the blurry
I
one.
can see.
No,
I can
Brian.
see. What?
I'm gonna send you another one right after you're done the folder. That's
Okay.
the blurry one. There's a clear one. I don't know why I put the blurry one in. But you can go on. I'll send you the other one.
All right.
Show the codes. Wow.
What are we looking at here?
So that's from Fiverr. He sent a picture in his town that he took, and green light on top. And he also sent this one over, another green light on top.
That one actually has a patent.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
All right, I just sent you the, because now you're done that folder. I just sent you the image.
Oh yeah, Sandy, that comes in a lot clearer.
Yeah, it does. Like, there's no
Oh my
question.
God.
Like the other one, you're like, maybe. But no, this one is...
Why do they do that? What is it about them?
What?
I guess maybe they get compressed or something.
It's an old, yeah, they're older too. But that's
Okay.
how I remember Hanna-Barbera. Some people remember it with an H at the end of Hanna, but it is currently B-E-R-A, and it was always A-R-A for me. Not pronounced Barbara, but Barbara.
Barbera, Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah. Exactly how I remember it.
All right, those are all really good residues, and Sandy, your level of expertise in the graphic design is really awesome here. Thank you so much for putting all this stuff together all the time for us.
No problem.
And Teresa, you're awesome at finding residue. That's why they call you the residue queen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You sound tired too.
Mm.
All right, well, and Esther, thank you for sharing your wonderful story.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you on the show again. Come, and by all means, come back on.
Oh yeah, it's always fun. So, especially I love reading the chat, and when I get a chance, I'm not looking for stuff as well. Yeah, some of these things are just super funny.
All right, well, with that, we're going to end on a good note. Everyone have a wonderful, great Mandela Effect night, and God bless.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.